So at this point, you're probably asking yourself, how is it possible that a buyer with 20% down wins out over 8 other offers, and 3 of those other offers were all cash, and then end up paying under the seller's asking price and $18,000 under the appraised value, and then to close the whole thing in 22 days with no risk and no hassle? How is this possible? Well, it is possible if you have the right ingredients. So let's go over the ingredients that we had here. Number 1, a well-qualified buyer, and we definitely had that. Number 2, a dream home that really was not replaceable. We either had to get this one or simply fail, because the other homes were much less desirable and they were priced higher too. And number 3 is a buyer cashback program. We'll get into this in more detail, but what this amounts to is my buyers get a cashback worth thousands of dollars from me that does not affect their price. And the reason it doesn't affect their price is because it's coming from me and not from the seller. And the 4th ingredient is expert negotiations. I happen to be an MCNE, which is a long way of saying a master negotiator. Now let's look at the steps. Step number 1 had to do with speed. We had to move fast. After all, there were 9 offers and 3 of them were all cash. We were strong with 20% down and very well qualified buyer, but our competition was stronger. All cash. Step number 2 is the right intro letter. And we wrote a complimentary intro letter with a family photo. With 8 other offers, we needed an adoption, not a competition. Step number 3 is my buyer cashback. And my buyer cashback allowed the buyer to offer more than the seller was asking, but in the end actually pay less than the asking price because he got thousands back in buyer cashback. Step number 4 had to do with the appraisal. Again, because of my buyer cashback, the buyer was paying less than his offer to the seller because he was getting thousands back from me. So we offered to accept an appraisal that was less than the offer too. The buyer, who is very conservative, would never have paid over appraised value. Step number 5 was no loan contingency. We were competing with 3 all-cash offers, so our offer had to not have a loan contingency. Since the buyer qualified for a much higher loan than required to buy the home, there was no risk for him here, and he was willing to do that. Step number 6 is to provide a very fast escrow. My excellent lender is very fast, so we were able to offer the seller a 22-day escrow. That's a fast escrow, just like an all-cash escrow almost. Are you starting to see the pattern here? Our offer was just like an all-cash offer. It was fast, with no appraisal uncertainty, no loan contingency, and it was over the seller's asking price because of my buyer cashback. So that's it, the power of the right agent. My buyer cashback and my negotiating skill got my buyers their dream home despite the red-hot competition. But how about you? Would you like to win in a red-hot market? Because that's what we're in right now. If you're looking for a home, contact and you can win too. By the way, if you have a home to sell, my sellers win too. Ask me about my SureClose. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to talking to you in person.